Gas pipeline operator Hastings Diversified has lifted first half profit by 58% and shrugged off rumours of a takeover by its major shareholder. It's come as mining magnate Clive Palmer slammed the coal seam gas industry, calling its technology unsafe and unproven. Tracy Kirkland reports.
While the heat is being applied to the emerging coal seam gas industry, cold weather has helped traditional suppliers, as is evident from the results of Hastings Diversified, the operator of 3 of Australia's major gas pipelines.
We continue to have gas growing in fundamental demand to the market, so we had extra contracting on some of our pipelines that meant, of course, higher revenue.
Net half-year profit was up 59% to just over $27 million.
What I think we're beginning to see is gas flows around the country increasing, needs from the major gas producers and coal seam gas players for the ability to move gas increasing too, which puts a company like Hastings, as well as the other pipeline transmission operators and owners in a very strong position.
But coal seam gas has farmers and miners at loggerheads, with allegations of potential environmental damage to water and farmland. Mining magnate Clive Palmer is the latest to voice his concern, calling the technology it uses unsafe and unproven. Speaking at yesterday's National Party conference in Canberra, Mr Palmer said a leading Chinese firm told him they'd abandoned Australian extraction techniques 20 years ago.
I just think it's a fairly poor show when the advice is taken from overseas people who are unfamiliar with the production and the regulatory regime within Queensland, or the expertise of the people running these coal seam gas companies.
The Australian Petroleum Production and Exploration Association hit back, calling the accusations a grave insult, saying the coal seam gas industry has been proven safe. Mr Atkin admits there may be some environmental impacts, but he thinks the change from coal to gas is too important to put off.
If we're interested in a cleaner future, gas necessarily provides a good step forward to getting cleaner. It's not CO2 free, it does have some issues of extraction, but at the end of the day, the local environment is going to demand increasing levels of energy to support its requirements. So how we get there is as important as why we're getting there, I think.
Hastings, which is currently owned by Westpac, is also dealing with speculation about a possible takeover bid from its majority shareholder, natural gas company APA.
Quite rightly, they've invested in a business that's consistent with theirs. They have a mix of energy sources, a mix of transmission and distribution, and I would envisage that for any investor, investing in HDF is a very attractive proposition.
It, of course, from a strategic and a geographical perspective, would make a huge amount of sense for these pipelines to be owned within the broader APA portfolio, but it is still a question that is hanging out there.
It makes sense to investors, with HDF shares up more than 4% and APA also making a small gain.